Who could have imagined that a quiet, unassuming girl like Mary had within her a song about overturning empires and upending the world in which she lived? One would have thought if she had any kind of song within her, it would have been a quiet lullaby. She was pregnant, after all. But hers was a song of joy as an act of resistance and hope as a force that topples injustice. Where did she learn the words to this song? And can today's church learn to sing its lyrics with the same passion, the same sure confidence that Mary did? These are the questions I had as I read once again the familiar words to a song that poured forth from Mary's lips, one that no doubt had been bubbling up within her ever since her encounter with an angel who foretold the birth of Jesus. This song she sang was a song of joy, but not the kind of sentimental, light-hearted joy that the Christmas season's noted for. It wasn't a joy that's associated with gingerbread and brightly colored lights and presents under the Christmas tree. It was an altogether different kind of joy. Hers was a joy that was courageous and defiant, and her song was a song of resistance. Mary was female, she was young, she was poor, and she was living under Roman occupation. In short, she was powerless. And yet she refused to allow her worth to be diminished. Mary resisted the onslaught of despair that had consumed others like her. She resisted the dehumanizing tactics of the Roman government. In fact, within the song's opening stanza, she describes herself as blessed and favored by God, who did great things for her. Can we do the same? Even while one executive order after another feels like a slap in the face of humanity, can we find reason to bless the name of God? Can we sense the arc of the moral universe that Dr. King spoke of, bending toward justice? Can we hear a song within us that calls us to resist despair and defeat? Mary did. She sang of resistance and she sang of justice. She sang of God's preferential love for the marginalized with the words that God lifts up the lowly, fills the hungry, scatters the proud. Her song imagines a world turned upside down, one where the mighty are humbled and the oppressed are empowered. This is not some naive pie-in-the-sky song. It's not a song about a heavenly reward for the faithful after they have died. No, this song of justice is one that's meant to move us into action now. It stirs us to embody God's dream for the world. I hear this song echoing in the words of activist Reverend Jim Rigby, who writes, "I don't seek the kind of activism that loses its heart and mind in the sound and fury of life's battles. I want to ride this storm without losing what makes me truly happy and human. I want my life to be a gift of healing for all who are struggling anywhere. I seek to feel anger at injustice without becoming anger. I hope to grieve the world's wounds without becoming grief. I do not seek the kind of hope that pretends everything will work out in my own lifespan. Instead, I seek the kind of hope that is satisfied with doing what I can, for whom I can, without needing guarantees of success." This is the kind of song that Mary sang. a song of resistance that refused to give in to despair, and a song of justice that embodied God's dream for the world. But it was also a song of remembrance. Mary concludes her song with the words, "In remembrance of your mercy, according to the promise you made to our ancestors, to Sarah and Abraham, to their descendants, and to their descendants forever." In remembrance according to the promise you made to our ancestors. Mary draws strength from the memory of God's ongoing work that stretches back to the time of those who have gone before her. Generations of people who had resisted oppression and sought justice. Her joy is grounded in the memory of the faithfulness of her people and the stories of liberation. It's been said how very similar her song is to the song of Hannah, who despite her advanced years gave birth to the prophet Samuel. It's only natural then that Mary, a woman of low status, would draw strength from the song of a spiritual ancestor who was also labeled as one of low status. Hannah's song praises God, and it exalts the humble and topples the proud. And so did Mary's. We also have a communal memory from which we can draw. Spiritual ancestors who include Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela, Sojourner Truth and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Harvey Milk, Marsha P. Johnson, and Reverend Troy Perry. Their stories inspire us and deepen our joy. I don't believe that Mary was satisfied with having sung her song only once. I believe she never stopped singing it because I can see its influence in the words and deeds of Jesus. We too must never stop singing the song that God has placed within our hearts. Mary's song is an invitation to today's church. It's an invitation to practice joy as resistance, to hold on to hope even when the world pulls us towards cynicism. Her song invites us to magnify God, to make God's presence bigger in our world as we practice acts of justice and compassion. It invites us to side with the lowly and to choose solidarity with the marginalized, because God is always on the side of the oppressed. And the song invites us to give ourselves over to the sort of joy that energizes generosity and compassion. Mary's joy reflected the heartbeat of God's justice. May we sing with her, act with her, and join God's work of turning the world upside down with love. Amen.